Hey, Mike, can I try that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Here you go, man.
Oh, sick.
Today on Grand Thumb, we're going to be talking about a very interesting development in suppressor technology. Right here, we have a SureFire RC2, a wonderful combat suppressor. Known well, loved well, we love the RC2. But right here from Ambient Arms, we have the EXO. Now, it uses a very interesting concept to keep it extremely cool. You have some ambient air mixed in with some of that hot air inside the suppressor to make sure it doesn't get too hot. Why that matters is as suppressors get very hot, they can cause a lot of malfunctions in both the gun as well as from the projectile getting too heated as it travels through the suppressor. Now there are other problems too. As the material gets hot, it is less effective. So by keeping the suppressor cooler, we have a lot of opportunities in terms of combat applications. So today on Grand Thumb, I hope you'll stay tuned as we talk about a very new, interesting development in suppressor technology. John, I talked over the entire time. What do you want to say about it?
I just think it's really interesting. It's even, you can see it on that suppressor right there. He touched it against like a sling or something like that. And this thing stays pretty cool after even a couple mags, so it's gonna be a lot less of that.
Not only does it stay pretty cool, it is pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay. You gas motherfucker. That's life, kids. But before we get into that, I have a secret for you. Come close. Did you know that this content is free? Now, your internet's free. You pay for that. I don't know if you pay for Elon or Sparklight or Comcast, God forbid. But the point is, you don't pay for this content, and it's kept completely free by our sponsors. The biggest sponsor of the channel is Primary Arms. If you're looking for a great pistol optic, you got the HTX1, great rifle optics, whatever you might want. But the point is that they actually love you. They actually care about you. So email them, ask them why they do. Maybe you'll get a good answer. Maybe you'll get blocked. We don't actually know. Guys, if you're looking to be more American, we have Henry Repeating Arms. Oh, Jesus. So, here's the thing. When all the time shooting guns, what I've realized is sometimes you just need a good old lever action. And Henry Repeating Arms is great because not only are they great lever actions, but they're made in America or not made at all. So go and love them. Go and check out henrythumb.com, which we actually can't really talk about, but go give them a lot of love. Of course, if you're looking to get better at shooting, we recommend dry fire. Go check out Mantis, turn your gun into a dry fire machine. Of course, all ammunition is sponsored for by AAC. With all that being said, talk is cheap, and Ambient Arms EXO Hugs and Kisses suppressors are, I don't know, how expensive are they going to be? That's actually not bad. Now with Ambient Arms, what is our relationship with them? Well, they're out here at the range to show off this new suppressor technology. There's no exchange of money or anything like that. Full disclosure, no exchange of ammo. They just brought it out so that we could show you guys some new, interesting technology. So without further ado, let's welcome in the guys from Ambient Arms. Mike. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming. Oh, we got the whole team. What's going on, guys? So, there's a lot going on here. I've actually haven't even shot this yet. So I'm excited for that, but I thought I'd give you guys an opportunity to talk about it. Actually, just introduce yourselves. Who are you?
Wes with Ambient Arms, former Navy SEAL.
And Jeff Ozan, engineer and designer.
Frank Felica, also former Navy SEAL with Ambient Arms. Can I redo that?
No, you did great. That's actually staying in just as it is. Well, guys, please talk about this. The floor is yours. This is very interesting technology.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the most seminal points of it is all these ports on the outside. Those are all ambient intake ports for ambient air. And so as you shoot the rifle and the propellant gases get launched in, we create low pressures in what is traditionally a very high pressure system. And we suck in that ambient air and we mix it with the propellant gases, and that'll help with temperature and with some sound suppression. And we also have some pretty wild accuracy tech in here. So we have a ported barrel on the inside, so we get a clean, symmetric, reflective surface for your pressure wave as you're firing, and a concave muzzle face that allows that pressure wave to cleanly release into the ambient atmosphere.
You just spoke at a level that was about 3 grades too high for anybody on my channel.
What?
No, that was actually step in here. That is so interesting. There's, not to mention, you guys are coming in at a great time because if you guys don't know, tax stamps are now $0. That means that they shouldn't have any tax stamps, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. They should just get rid of it. But please, Navy SEALs, go ahead.
So Mike, it doesn't run as hot. You're gonna run through 2 mags, do a pistol transition, and you're not gonna burn through your cry pants.
So as you know,
Wonderful.
we were issued Patagonia, so we'd have to pay out of pocket for our fry pants. So that's a bad day. You burn through those. That's $300.
Yeah, the Air Force says give us whatever you want.
That's nice.
Well, I'm excited. I really got to try it out at this point. So, like, how many rounds can I shoot? And this thing is, like, I saw you guys shoot it and then like grab it. Like, is that real?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do 30 rounds. You can grab it. Now the hand is not a great barometer, right? Because after 125 degrees, you're going to touch it. It's going to feel hot. There's a lot going on at those middle and upper levels. So for example, it gets 180 degrees after 3 mags. You're not going to want to touch it, but that's a world of difference to your whole rifle system than being 800, 1,000, 1,200 degrees.
I got to fire 30 rounds through it right now. I
do
just
it.
got it. Okay, let's go. I'm so excited.
So this is the mini, so it's all kind of scrunched in, but where the knurling is on the outside, after mag dump, that'll practically be your ambient air temperature. It'll get a little bit warmer here, and the warmest part will be in the back because it's mixing progressively throughout the shot. But still in the back, it'll be 150, 160 degrees after mag dump, which is light years better than 400 degrees.
I feel a little like butterflies because you know to never grab a suppressor. You know. Yeah. I'm ready though. Let's do this, dude.
Yeah, very counterintuitive.
It does. It feels wrong. Yeah. You got the good old Sons of Liberty Mark 1. Beautiful.
All right.
Oh my God. What? That's not even hot at all. It's a little hotter right there. That's interesting. Look at that. So you can see, closer to obviously where the end of the barrel is, it's going to be hotter there. What do you say, like 180, 150 right there? Yeah. So it feels like, but right up here, completely cool. So we're putting that down. That feels so wrong to be able to do that. Like you would never, come here, John. It doesn't feel right. Here, grab the end. Like, what? Yeah. John runs away. It's a little too much for a Ranger. That's crazy. Okay, well today we're going to be testing out what it sounds like downrange. We're going to shoot ourselves with it. We're going to test heat. We're going to do everything possible to show you guys how this thing's performing compared to a lot of the competitors out there. Let's do it.
How long have y'all been working on this?
A couple years.
Couple weeks. Yeah, so we were shooting it earlier, and now I'm not like a sound meter myself, but it sounded just a hair louder than an RC2, but compared to like all the other benefits of this can, I'd say it's worth the trade-off so far.
I'm really interested to hear it versus like legacy cans like the Kitty Cat, the HUXWRX can we have right here. It's going to be really interesting. So right here, we're going to do a direct comparison. This is a mini can, which is a little bit larger than your typical mini can, but we have both an 11.5 and an 11.5. So we're going to be testing the heat differences between these two with a 30-round mag dump. So if you notice right here, it looks like we have a really fat suppressor. This is actually a ModTac heat shield. And the reason for that is exactly what we're talking about. Suppressors get really hot. So increasingly, you're seeing these heat shields used to protect the operator, the user, to ensure that they're not burning themselves. So for this test, we're going to be popping it off, firing these two directly. After we've measured with the heat gun, we'll be grabbing the meat glove, their term, not mine, by the way, and we'll be touching it to see how bad it burns. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, so I have my way to measure temperature. Jeff is our resident mad scientist. He has his way with science. I have my way to measure the temperature. So let's figure out the heat on these.
Did they teach that at SOCOM?
Yes. Yeah. Yep, the 18 Delta course. Yep, the old meat grab.
Okay, first things first, we'll do this 30-round test. So let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay.
All right, Mike, let me test this. Yep, it's hot.
It's hot. Okay,
Yep.
Measure that the meat.
We got 360 down to 260 and 280, 290.
Beautiful. And that was my suppressor now smells like deli meat.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So a lot of people were thinking that we were putting a graphene coating on there, and that was shielding the heats. And so like this is like completely raw. And then this can is drier right now, which will help with the laser refraction, because if you have any moisture on there at all,
it's important to know. It's not just like straight. It's going to read the exact temperature. There's other factors at play. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and do it. I do want to point out with both these guns, I am getting gas at because I have no iPro on because it's super wet. So not much you can really do about that. All right,
Mike.
Oh yeah, get out of here. Touch the
Not
meat.
hot. Not hot. Science.
all right, we got 50, 70, 150, 180.
That's insane. That's like half the what? Okay, we got what 280 to 300 on the RC2.
Yeah, it was over 300 to.
Luckily, we have the what do they call it? The receipts.
Yeah.
Is that what the kids say?
Yeah.
Is that's what the kids say, right, Sawyer?
Dude, I don't know. I'm almost 30.
You do look young though.
I got that baby face.
So that is crazy. We are getting far less heat on this guy. There's really something to be said about that. And now at the shooter's ear, these sound pretty similar to me. Obviously, when we're talking about sound testing, about metering, that's a complicated science. We're just talking about getting these guys in with Pew Science to do some testing because he does really excellent testing on the actual sound signature. Us just sitting here with like a sound meter, we're not going to get a good reading, guys. So that's not the point of this is. But for you guys, this kind of essay, we can at least hear the tone. So we're going to shoot these two side by side, and then we're going to test recoil, and then we're going to start shooting at me with these. Okay, guys, we're going to have John fire 5, then I'm going to fire 5, and then we're going to switch positions here. Let's go ahead and hear the tone. Go ahead, John. Beating your brass. Here, switch positions. Okay, go ahead. Which one sounds quieter to you?
Oh, I mean, honestly, almost identical. I mean,
They sound very similar.
I'd get a better read if I was like standing over there without ear pro or something.
How'd that sound to you guys? No biases.
My biased opinion is the extra.
So at my ear, this sounded a lot quieter. Here, switch guns. Which one sounded better when you switched?
I mean, to me, it's hard to tell, honestly. Like with ear pro actually shooting it, I'll stand over there if anyone wants to hop in.
Yep. And for the audience, let us know what you think with your compressed audio
I didn't want to say anything.
that you guys are hearing through YouTube. All right, 5 and 5.
5 and 5.
Switch positions. Yep. Okay. Dead trigger again.
Yep.
Down the circle bus a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which one?
With no ear
Which
pro?
one sounds better?
That one sounded like
Yeah, no ear pro on. Definitely.
like 115% the performance of that one. To be honest.
John says that this one sounds 115% better. From my experience shooting these two side by side, this one does sound better to me, especially at my ear. The only way to see which one sounds better downrange is to go get shot at. So let's go ahead and load them both up, and me and Sawyer will go downrange and get shot at.
Hell yeah.
So we're going downrange right now, and this is why we don't have insurance, by the way. And John's going to shoot at us with a bunch of different cans. So obviously the Ambient Arms. We'll also be using HUXWRX, a cat can, a SureFire, just all the big players right now. So we're pretty excited. It's always a good time for us. John will be shooting us at 50 and then at 100. So I'm excited. How about you?
I'm excited, but this is also exactly why I signed up for life insurance.
There you have it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
John, we're ready.
Yeah, we're waiting till they get over here.
They're not ready. Well, look at them. Look how majestic that is. Can you see that? Look at that.
Dude, time to plant the potatoes.
Yeah. So when there's snow on that particular feature, nobody name it if you're from this area. That means it's time to plant potatoes. That's an Idaho thing. World's best potato. Actually, this isn't Idaho. This is Chicago. Idaho doesn't exist. Neither do potatoes. So nowhere to move. Sorry. So excited to get shot at by NATO weapons, NATO death squads. Send it.
All right, 11-5 with the HUD scan.
It tried. hear all the mud land. On the other ones, elevate your shooting against the hillside because they were striking the ground. You're good. Do the Ambient Arms one. A little bit sharper, actually. Did you notice that?
Dude, it's so hard to tell the monitor.
I got my ears, so.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it sounded a little sharper from the Ambient Arms. It was more, what's the word for it? Trebly, you know, like in that higher frequency range. Both sounded good. Very similar sound signatures between the two.
And for the record, it's same ammo and everything, right?
Precisely. We are shooting 77 grain OTMs. Okay, we're ready. We're at 100 now. Let's do it. Send it! Oh, the Ambient Arms was quieter that time around. Interesting. Tone does matter. Good! Now, a lot of the sound that you're hearing is, of course, the round breaking the sound barrier. So you do have to distinguish between the two noises. The shot itself versus the sound of that round breaking the sound barrier past you. But despite that, at closer, the HUXWRX was a little bit quieter. But at the further range, the Ambient Arms ended up being a little bit quieter, which is interesting. Both excellent combat cans. It was a great comparison. But what's really interesting is compared to the HUXWRX, the Ambient Arms, of course, very cool, like cool and cold. So I noticed that like there was a higher frequency to the can, and I was always like under the impression that lower frequency is better. But at the same time, when you guys stepped it out to 100 and fired, I noticed that the higher tones didn't travel at all. So is there a science behind that? Like, I'm pretty dumb.
Yeah. You know, there's going to be a little bit of a lower impulse on this one, and it's soaking up a little bit of that energy, which is giving you a different tone, which will, you know, be a little bit of a lower frequency, or a higher frequency, which won't travel that far. I mean, it's pretty dense air here, pretty cold, pretty humid, so everything's going to travel a lot right now. But
interesting. It was very interesting hearing them like actually downrange. It was fun. It was a good time.
So higher frequency sounds, they typically don't travel as far. That's like the general understanding. That kind of reminds me of like the loud hiss of an Abrams tank engine, and how like you can hear it like up close, obviously, but further, it's like almost non-existent.
I know that from playing Battlefield 6.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so we've tested a lot of things on these suppressors at this point. Let's go ahead. Let's hear all the different types of cans that you guys have, and then let's sit down with you and let's kind of break it down, full engineering autism style. My audience loves that, and we'll wrap it up. How's that sound? Perfect. Absolutely. Okay. I'm nervous. Okay, we're gonna do a quick test right here. So if you're shooting with your buddies, you're online with them, you're all engaging somebody, how does that sound signature sound with your buddies who are also fighting with you? So first up, we're gonna have the HUXWRX, and then we're gonna have the Ambient Arms. Go ahead, gentlemen. So from the side, that was night and day. The Ambient Arms was significantly quieter than the HUXWRX. And the HUXWRX is a great combat can in terms of that type of performance. So very interesting. That surprised me quite a bit. That's interesting.
I heard the difference to the camera.
Did you?
I actually did.
So cool.
yes, so part of what we're doing here is we're trying to keep everything super tight post suppressor. So essentially keeping a tight air baffle, and that's really helping if you're off to the side of the gun or if you're at shooter's ear, because it's taking a higher percentage away versus like a traditional can is letting it expand and having that rearward propagation of that pressure wave immediately, and we're trying to kill it and let it go forward.
That is so freaking cool. I can't wait to try every gun out, like with all the different cans out there. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Why do hot suppressors matter? Well, that's the exact imprint of a HUX can. In fact, the very HUX can we have right there. You can still see the plastic on it.
Bro, the front of my car. Remember when we were shooting and leaned the market
your
against it?
your Toyota.
Yeah, I got a big old scoop right.
You got like a SureFire indent right on the front of your fender. That's actually worth a lot of money. John has a couple good points he wants to bring up, so John, please take it away.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's just cool, like to be able to grab this thing after a full mag, even 2 mags. But people really need to understand the importance of this, whether it's like a squad is bounding and they're assaulting an objective, and just before they even get to the objective, the team leader's burnt 3 mags just suppressing the enemy. and then you get down behind cover with your guys in some micro terrain, and your suppressor, I've seen it whenever we do live fires, like it leans up against your buddy's thigh and it just burns the dog shit out of them. And obviously that's bad. You want to avoid that. But for not just, you know, an M4 or in this case an HK weapon system, whether it's that or a Ranger saw gunner with his 249 or a CAC LAMG, it's just it really makes the weapon a lot more pleasant, because I mean that the chance of burning your buddy or yourself or your sling if it drapes against it is just way less. Also, for a PDW application, whether it's military or like Secret Service or just civilian side, if you dump a mag into somebody trying to get away and then you quickly stow your gun because you don't want to be seen as the guy with the gun, I mean it might get a little toasty, but it's way better than a SureFire or HUX in terms of heat. So
that's very true. It's a very cool development in terms of suppressor technology.
One other thing is, since we brought up PDW, I'd be really interested to see where they could take this concept specifically with 9mm for like that PDW thing. But also, I bet there's probably limitations because it's a lower pressure round, and it's probably harder to use those lower pressures to get to achieve this effect.
I mean, lucky for us, we have the engineer here, so I guess we could ask him.
Yeah. Let's find him. Let's track him down.
So right here we have the Stratos. As you notice, this is their 22 can. Little teeny tiny intakes, and I'm interested to see how it sounds. So again, this is, I guess, scalable for everything, which is neato. It's pretty cool. Actually, that's super quiet. Okay, let's test out some of the other cans we got here.
Yeah, so this is our 5.9-inch EXO mini can made out of pink nail. And that's on the 11-inch HK.
All right, see how she runs. That is nice. You know, nice thing about the HK too, got a little less gas in your face too. It's not bad. You know, the HK really does kill recoil, but in addition to that, I have noticed that your cans have a lot less recoil in general. What's the design principle? Is it just less? What is it? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What magic are you doing?
Yeah, it's a little bit of the product of, we had to create those low pressures in there, so we're tuning it for those low pressures, which is taking up a little bit of that like shock value, that impulse in the recoil itself. So like you have a sharpness, and then you have a heavier hit, and so we're leaning a little bit more towards a push than a sharp hit.
You see how there's just water on that sill? Like it's not evaporating off because it's so cool. That's wild. Jeez. Okay, now take a look at another really good suppressor in comparison. We have the Kitty Cat, which is just this tiny little 5.56 suppressor, but you're gonna see just how hot this little guy gets. Oh no, I don't want to. That is hot. There's no water on that because, yeah, and that's steaming right off. That's crazy. That's wild. Okay, next up we have your full-size suppressor, correct?
Yep.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, this is our full-size EXO. It's 6.9 inches long, and this one's made out of titanium, and then that's on a Sons of Liberty MK1 11.5-inch barrel.
This one, titanium?
Titanium.
Yeah. You see a little bit more sparking with titanium. That's just what you're going to get. By keeping the can cooler, you're going to get less sparking compared to a traditional design. So, makes sense. Neat. That is cool. You know, in general, I get it. Titanium cans are so much lighter. I find in practice, I definitely use them a lot less. What's the typical application, especially for my seals right here, that you're seeing with titanium? I know that a lot of guys are like, for raids, because they're so lightweight and, you're not firing too many rounds during it. What's the idea behind it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, my 2 cents is if you're going to be in anything on, like, let's say operationally speaking, where it doesn't really matter because you're going to be so up close and personal, probably run it then because it's lighter. Outside of operationally, I would definitely use it for like hunting and things like that too, just because it also is lighter. It's going to stay cooler and it's easier to carry.
Yeah, if you care about weight more, titanium might be the route you're going to go. Inconel if you care about that suppression for its signature.
I'm just grabbing this can right now.
Pretty unreal.
It doesn't. This
Don't get used
titanium
to
too. Titanium like is absorbing a little bit more of that heat, isn't it? Like if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Even still, like I could never grab a titanium can like this after shooting.
Right.
Like I'm degloving my hand right there.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay, well we've done a lot of shooting at this point, and talking I guess, but let's go ahead and let's sit down with you and just really delve into it. And can't wait. I love autism.
Yeah, so for, we're talking about the differences between use cases for Inconel versus use cases for titanium. Titanium traditionally has had two massive drawbacks. One is going to be sparking, and the second is going to be durability. We solved almost entirely the durability drawback of titanium, because titanium, once it gets above 900 degrees Fahrenheit, definitely above 1,000 or 1,200 degrees, it's losing a significant amount of its material properties, and so it's not as strong anymore, and it erodes faster. For us, and so for a comparison, 3 mags, any can on the market will absolutely be well over 1,000 degrees. So if you're running over 3 mags, you've lost most of your material properties for titanium. For us, we can do a full SOCOM surge test, which is 8 mags, and then you have to do that 6 times for 1 SOCOM cycle. And we've had SOCOM after SOCOM after SOCOM on titanium cans, like over 10 SOCOMs, and they're still surviving. So our titanium cans are for sure going to be the most rugged on the market. The second drawback is going to be sparking. You get some advantage with running cooler on sparking, but our titanium will still have some sparking. So there's going to be some use cases for Inconel, which is why we have an Inconel can right now. And that's really going to be for that flash signature, not really flash, but spark signature at night.
That answers a lot of the questions I actually had, but what else can you tell us as far as the design, some of the philosophy? How long did this take you to get to this point here? And I guess what are you guys aiming for in the future?
Yeah. So I think to start off with, I think we're just touching the tips of what this technology is.
No, you're good. That's perfect. Sorry, I'm a child.
So I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg of what this technology can actually produce. But was started out really chasing the temperature regulation portion of it, like not burning through your pants or your dog or your buddy. And so in order to do that and not break the laws of thermodynamics, you really need to introduce some ambient air to mix with the hot propellant gases. And so we thought that we were going to have to make some sacrifices on sound, as we're talking before, or are we going to have a constant first round pop every single time because we have all that oxygen? And so we chased that, we proved that out, and it's a matter of timing, practically speaking, but there is no constant first round pop with these, and very good sound suppression. But by introducing that cool ambient air, we make low pressure zones in what is traditionally a very high pressure device. Those low pressures allow these ports to suck air in. So we're sucking air here, we're sucking air here, and then we're sucking air finally here, using a couple different principles, and then mixing that air with the hot propellant gases to regulate the temperature and to get some sound suppression.
This is really cool. This is cool technology. When I think about this, we really do think about I know I said it before, I don't mean to be a broken record, but I would say the next iteration in suppressor tech, which is keeping it cool. And when you keep it cool, you retain the properties that you need with your suppressor. Versus, as you know, when they get hot, they begin to lose a lot of those capabilities, and it becomes, at some cases, it can be dangerous for the actual firearm. Like, suppressor gets hot enough, transfers that heat down to the barrel, and the chamber is that hot, you can begin to get liquefaction of the lead cores in your rounds, and you get hella problems. So this is very cool.
Yeah, up until now, suppressors have always run hotter than your barrel, and so that temperature is going to equalize itself out. So before, your barrel is acting like a heat sink for your suppressor, pulling heat out of your suppressor. When you heat up your barrel, you're getting extra dispersion, significant dispersion of your impacts, along with longevity and durability and that sort of thing. Here, our suppressors run cooler than our barrel does, and so the suppressor itself turns into a heat sink for the barrel, so we can have the barrel run cooler.
Interesting. And this also is going to be really big for bolt guns as well. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is a huge call on bolt guns with, these large rounds, so much expanding gas, you're running into some significant issues with these suppressors heating up. So I'm guessing there's going to be a big application there in terms of the precision market.
Yeah, we're definitely chasing that right now for both, dispersion of the barrel and keeping your barrel cooler. And then we have some pretty wild accuracy tech inside of the suppressor. So we actually have a ported barrel on the inside of the suppressor, along with this concave degree matched muzzle face. And then, these scallops actually play a role. But if you think about how a projectile is running Mach 3 through the air, you're going to have a 55-degree pressure wave off of it if it's a 556. That pressure wave is going to reflect off the surfaces. So that pressure wave is happening in your barrel, but one, your projectile is contained, and two, it has a really close, tight radius for that wave to reflect and bounce back into your projectile. The problem in suppressors, and why you start to lose some precision especially, is going to be that pressure wave is having to travel through inconsistently pressurizing air. And so it's going to travel at different speeds and at different rates. And then to magnify the issue, there's a lot of suppressors that are have like unsymmetric geometries on the inside. And so, but even if you have symmetric geometry, so like hard reflective surfaces for that wave to reflect off of, the air is pressurizing different. And so every now and then inside the suppressor, or constantly in some suppressors, that pressure wave is going to bounce back and reflect back into your projectile. But if it's not hitting the projectile at the exact same location and at the exact same time around the circumference of the projectile, you start to get little micro turbulences. And like that's one, going to affect your ballistic coefficient to a degree, and two, obviously affect precision. And then the bullet release. So when that bullet exits the suppressor, is actually like something that matters quite a bit. And so if you look underneath like Schlieren imaging or shadowgraphy, you can see the pressure wave and see what's happening.
We actually just did a little bit on Schlieren imaging with our Phantom camera not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually familiar with that.
Yeah, so at Ambient, we built our own analog Schlieren point-to-shoot device with very high-power collimated lasers. It's actually super cool. And so we're able to see
Suppressors. Sorry, that was an easy joke.
Messing up my train of thought, man.
I know. I'm not good.
And so anyways, if you look at any suppressor or even a bare muzzle underneath Schlieren, you'll watch that pressure wave and it's immediately being exposed to the open atmosphere and it's not contained. So it's going from contained to open expanse, and with that you're getting a yaw on your pressure wave where there's uneven pressures behind it and it's trying to like suck itself back in, and like that is going to be something that your bullet has to correct. And so maybe in isolation it doesn't make a difference, but that doesn't matter to us, because if it's better, even if you can't perceive a difference in isolation, like we're going to chase that. And so
That's cool.
Yeah, so here we have absolutely the cleanest bullet release that you can possibly have. It's a perfectly straight pressure wave line as a bullet exits the end of the suppressor. It's cleaner than even shooting a bare muzzle. And so, we're really seeing that translate into downrange precision, and excited to see, what happens.
I can't wait to get my hands on one of these, because, I feel like we need to do like 10K precision testing before and after and everything. But this is a really cool primer on these suppressors, what I think is really cool tech. I remember getting the video of the mag and a half and grabbing the end. I'm like, that's not real, actually. Yeah. That's stupid. That's not real. But no, it is real. This is real tech, and this is new. And we're kind of witnessing a little evolution of suppressors right here, and I think that's one of the coolest things that we can absolutely show. So, one, thank you for coming out and being able to speak with us. This is really cool. I'll bring it over to the peanut gallery over here. I'm just kidding. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts on this. Having been active duty military members, I'm sure that you guys have a lot of input. What would you like to say from a shooter's perspective, from an operator's perspective, on why this matters to you so much?
Yeah, so initially upon shooting it, noticing that intaking ambient air is going to make it run cooler. Great, I'm not going to burn my pants, burn a working dog, but there's so much going on that Jeff addressed that goes to that higher level.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. There's so many applications, especially not just military, but civilian as well, in terms of being able to stow these afterwards, like me and John were just talking about. It's quite incredible. So
yeah, and Jeff did touch on it, but yeah, of course, there's going to be the temperature thing. That's like the glaring obvious difference with this, right? Which is insane. I remember shooting it for the first time, and knowing what to expect and shooting it and actually being able to grab the thing, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, I still can't make this make sense in my head, and I don't know when it will. Eventually it'll
It feels
maybe
really
it'll
wrong grabbing
it
the
does,
suppressor.
yeah. But for me, when I think of like what Jeff brought up about now your suppressor essentially acting as a heat sink for your barrel, that's going to go into the longevity of all the parts of your gun, because it's all just going to transfer back, right? Like, you're not getting as much heat in your barrel now, so you're not getting as much wear and tear on that. And then when the topic that we just spoke about with the different like micro turbulences that exist within here, and I'll say this in a much more dumb sounding way, just because, not because I'm dumb, because I care about everybody and I want everybody to understand.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, no.
So normally this is very pressurized. So when the bullet's going through there, and any long range shooter will very immediately understand this. When it's going through there and it's pressurized, like most or all other suppressors are, that bullet's going to go through, and however so slight of a difference in pressure that bullet is going to feel, whether it's from pressure waves from the explosion itself or now when it's exiting into the atmosphere, that's a huge change from the temperature in your barrel to the temperature in the air that it's usually experiencing within a suppressor, and then to the ambient air outside. This I kind of view as like the transition phase. It's like a smooth transition for the bullet to go from high pressure, high heat, and now it's almost very quickly, but like cooling it and easing it into the outside atmosphere. That way it's not so abrupt, because
Give it a little.
yeah, and I mean, if you do any like a true long range shot, anybody who's done that before, you'll see the slightest little bit of wind can push your bullet, which was always crazy to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like experience. But if it's happening out there, anything here is just going to magnify in that issue that it's creating over distance, right? So as we start to push the limits and get into long range platforms and everything too, I think this is going to be really cool, and I'm excited to try it out.
I'm very excited, guys. This is a very cool technology. Pretty blown away that this is actually real. I kind of thought like we come out here, I'd fire like 30 mags or 30 rounds, and I'd grab it and it'd like slide out as it deglove my hand, and we'd be like, oh shit.
We'd be like, gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha, bitch. I hate Grand Thumb. But no, it's real, and it's very cool. So thank you so much for coming out, gentlemen.
Yeah, no
It's
problem.
been an absolute pleasure having you guys out here.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, just send me like 80 cans and then we're good.
It's easy enough.
No, we're good. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We have tons more cool stuff out here. And the biggest thing is always going to be the Patreon, of course. Don't forget about the Patreon. But even more important is going to be a little bit of dad advice. Here's what I got to say for you guys today. Expand your horizons, read a book. And I don't mean read the internet, I mean read an actual book. There's a lot of very cool knowledge out there that's not influenced by groupthink. Get out there, read some printed media, and expand your horizons. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. We got nothing else for you guys. Stay tuned for next time.